Good morning, traders. My name is Matt, one of the head coaches here at Empire Cryptocurrency Trading. And today we're going to be going through the Bitcoin chart. There's been a lot going on the geopolitical front, everything that's happening in Iran and Israel. And although that obviously affects the markets, it often is the reason we're seeing what we're seeing in the chart. And what I mean by that is a lot of the price action that you will see on a chart is smart money, insiders sort of making their moves before all this news drops. And essentially, what we're seeing through all these patterns that are printed on a price chart is these players telegraphing this news is about to come out. So while you have to be conscious of the volatility and the risk, you don't have to sit in this mindset of like, oh, I don't know anything. I can't, be helped by analyzing a chart because they're just going to drop bombs here or Trump is going to come out and say this. No, right? What we're doing with technical analysis is giving ourselves probability based outcomes for this type of news to come out, which inevitably pushes price one way or another. So that out of the way, let's jump onto the chart. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin only today, and there's a lot to say. So when we look at the 4-hour chart, my primary structure that's just been guiding my thought process has been this structure here, this 4-hour Gartley harmonic. If you want to learn more about harmonics, you know where to go. Empire Cryptocurrency Trading. This is where I share everything related to my analysis and my charts, and any questions about harmonics, that's where you need to go. So a Gartley is characterized by a 618 B point and a 786 D point. The B point, as you see here, a little bit shy of the 618, but sort of within our tolerance region for that. So the pattern's real, and it's sort of in a guiding structure that is telling me what to do and just navigating through this area. It's been really useful to know where the levels are. So we bounced off that Gartley harmonic perfectly, really nice reaction. And if you watched the video from last week, we were coming back down and sort of had a little bit of a bounce. And I was anticipating a retest of around 62.5. We kept rallying higher, so be it. But the bottom line is we're still anticipating this retest. And, when we look at the daily levels, we'll zoom out just for a moment and sort of talk about the daily, because I think what you could have seen if you broke 73.8 was a bit of a breakout. And look, it's not for me to say price is going to go here or there with 100% certainty. It's just about evaluating the levels. And it's like, well, if it breaks 73.8, then you could go as high as like 91 and probably at least 82.5. And I said that in the video last week was, you get above 73.8, bam, you could go as high as 91. So, we were on breakout watch at the end of last week, and in glorious fashion, Bitcoin completely shit the bed. Like, for all the constructive work that it was trying to put in the last week, really disappointing follow through on all of it, right? You're back breaking down, rejecting from that daily level. And the more, I think, upsetting reality is, if you're a bull, is breaking the market structure. So if we zoom back out and go to our 4-hour harmonic again, you can see we had, pretty interesting things happening from a market structure point of view. So, we got these lows forming and they're all higher than the lows from before. So locally, like, interesting things were happening. And then you had this high back from the 9th of February, and we actually eclipsed it, right? So for the first time in like over 6 weeks, it was okay, locally on a 4-hour time frame, you are putting in bullish market structure. Yay. We're winning here, guys. We're so back, right? And that was the argument. It's like, okay, well, if you can come down and it's okay to sort of respect this resistance for a moment, but what you need to do on the way down is put in a higher low. So do exactly what you've been doing, right? So ideally, my sort of zone for a hold for that whole argument was kind of retesting this channel somewhere between about 60, 68, 8 and really like 66. And the absolute low was 65,500. This morning, on the weekly close, breaking that low. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. Like, you know, you want to, after everything that's happened in crypto over the last 6 months, and like, my guys at Empire who have been following me all the way down, you'll know, like, my longer term targets, like we can do a look at that in a moment, but my longer term targets are much further down than where we are now. And this is a downtrend, and I'm not looking for this to really hit the major cycle low anytime soon. We're a while off. But, can we at least get like a counter trend rally? Can you at least do a common retrace? That's what we were talking about at this high at 73.8. Like, maybe you can just, give bulls like a little bit of relief, some reflexive type rally, do a 38.2% retracement and a 50% retracement of this entire downtrend. No, you can't. You don't get that. You don't even get that. You just shit the bed time after time after time. And it's like, okay, well, much lower then. We're going to go lower. So completely back to last week's idea, where you are now looking for a retest of 62K. And to be honest with you, if that's where you're looking, probably back down at the daily resistance at 60 to 58K. And, you can start to talk about different wave structures that will appear down there. But the bottom line is probably look for a 1618. These 1618 throwdowns, that's how it goes. So 51K. And this really just kicks in some larger time frame ideas weekly. This is the structure. You'll talk about, is Bitcoin bottomed? No, it hasn't. And you look at the weekly, like, forget the harmonic for 1 second. What is this weekly candle? My God. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red candles in a row. And my thought was, okay, maybe 1 or 2 green candles, just because it's very rare to get that many red candles in a row. And geez, we got our green candle. Yay. Now that's broken your streak, so you can have a string of red candles again. And it just kind of reminds me of like 2022, where you had this candle, right? You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red candles in a row. And then 1 green candle was like, oh, okay, nah. And then just a terrifically terrible close. And then 2 absolutely earth-shattering candles where you lost. Let's do some measurements here. You lost 44% of your value in 2 weeks. And it's like, is that where we are? Because it looks very similar. It looks very similar. So we have these big weekly levels, this big shark harmonic, and this is where you're heading. And what's that? Oh, 42% downside to your targets for that. And I think realistically, that's probably where your cycle low is. Why? Because every Bitcoin bear cycle does about a 786 retracement from the bear cycle low to the top of the bull market. So spot that. Bam. 39K. And it could go lower, but that's just, I think, a measured move to the cycle bottom. That's where I would expect it to go. So, it's very bad. It's very bad at the moment. And like, what a horrible weekly close. And, you're selling off the day, and like everything that's happening in the geopolitical front, just adding your reasons for it. You can say, oh, well, it's because of what's happening in Iran. Okay, cool. Well, the price is rejecting from a big daily level. So, it's going to keep going down, right? Irrespective of what's happening in the world. In a vacuum, this chart tells me much lower, at least 60K. And immediately 62K, 62.5, retest that harmonic and probably fail, right? Probably fail on the secondary move. If for, a miracle reason, maybe some, big, strong reaction happens at this level, then we could go back to do a 618 of this harmonic. So, your type 2 of that, we call it type 2, it's a reversal move, would take you back up to 68K. I could see that. But for now, like that's probably your hopium, and then right back down again. It's like, oh, head and shoulders. Yay. It's hard to get excited about this market, but like this type of price action is what we're getting. So I'll leave that there. There's obviously a lot more that I could say. And, on my live calls, I do this for hours and really break through every chart, crypto, stock market, macro markets, metals, energy, all these things, and sort of we get a global picture of everything that's happening. But For now, we'll leave it here and just sort of say some very disappointing price action in crypto. If you're a bull, watch out. There are some levels to be hit. You're not doing the right things if you want to be expecting high prices in the short term. So leave that there, guys. Hope you have a great week. You smashed markets. Hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please like, share, follow, subscribe, all the things. And if you want to check out more of what I do, jump onto the Empire platform. I post pretty much every day, share charts with members, and do live calls every week to really break down what I'm seeing. And if you have more questions about harmonics, you know where to go as well. See you guys. I'll see you in the next one.